Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. And today we're going to do a walkthrough of the software called TaxAct. It's very similar to TurboTax, but you can see that the price is much lower than TurboTax. And this is the software I personally use to file my own tax return. Um, I find it pretty easy to use, and it's similar to TurboTax as well. So today we're going to do a step-by-step tutorial. I also have another video that I did a tutorial for TurboTax. So we can kind of compare and see which one is easier to use and which one is more suitable for you. Um, I'm going to have a link below. If we refer a link for TaxAct, you do get a 20% discount, and you can help out the channel that way as well. And then you can use it to follow along. Okay, now let's get started. Um, so once you log in to your account, it's going to take you to here. You have to enter some basic information about yourself. I might fast forward this part so we can save some time. Okay, now we're gonna enter our income information. Here's giving you option to bundle up, similar to like TurboTax. They try to upcharge you with different packages. We don't really need it, so let's continue. It's asking where your incomes are coming from. So almost everyone, well not everyone, most people um, are probably W-2 wages. If you are self-employed, have side hustled, or a business, then you would check this box. I'm gonna hit continue. And let's say we have a rental property, and then continue. This is asking about whether you participate in any investment, so like brokerage accounts. If you had capital transactions, then you would check the box here. Let's say we have some interest, some capital gains and losses. And this is pretty important, capital loss carryover, because each year you can only deduct losses up to $3,000. And if you have more losses, more capital losses than that, it would carry over to the next year. So if you have losses carry over from last year, make sure you check that box. Okay. Let's say we contributed to IRA account. If you're self-employed, it's definitely a good idea to contribute to at least one type of IRA accounts. Okay, yeah, it's asking for different expenses you might have. Let's say we have some medical expense, and HSA is also a very good money saving account that you should contribute to. And let's say we made some charitable donations. Okay. Taxpayer name should match that one register on taxing. Okay. So now we're gonna start with our W2. You're gonna enter it just as you see it on your W2. You're gonna have the employer ID, and then you're gonna follow the boxes to enter your wages, your federal taxable income, your social security income, and without, and things like that. Let's enter something here, and then so you have the option to upload your W2 or just take a picture of it, and then it's gonna help you capture the data. But then obviously you want to review it and make sure you capture it correctly. Um, this we're just gonna enter it manually. I'm gonna try to skip this information here. Now enter some wages. Okay, and if you have something on box 12, make sure you select correctly to match your W2. I think most people do have something typically like 401k, and then you do get a certain amount. Okay, and then if you have state information, make sure you enter this as well. So this will flow to your state tax return. So let's say we're in New York. Okay, let's hit continue. Okay, it's saying it found few errors because I probably skipped some stuff. Um, I'll skip it for now. And then on top of it does give you like a refund amount right away for the federal and state. I think for TurboTax it does show it, but it show it much later after you enter like most of the information. Then it will show you your current refund or amount due. So I think it's pretty nice that they're showing you like right from the beginning. Now you have the option to enter another W2. I'm gonna say no. Okay, let's hit continue. Now we're gonna enter our investment information. So okay, it's giving you the option to um, import directly from your broker. I'm just gonna pick something. Okay, so it's gonna ask me for my login, and then that way they can get information directly from it. So there's less chance for error, which is very good. But for now, we're gonna enter it manually here. Okay, 1099 interest. So if you have um, $10 or more interest from like a CD or your saving account, you will receive 1099 interest. So make sure you enter that. Let's say I received this from my bank. Say I got $100 interest. Most of the time, that's all you're gonna have, which is the box one. Okay. No to foreign information. The tax exempt interest. No. State information. We're gonna skip this. Okay. That's all we have for state for interest. Now dividends. It's a very kind of like a similar form. It's called 1099 div. You do a quick entry. Okay, yeah, this is what the form looks like. So I don't know why they didn't do it for the 1099 dividend, but I do like it when they show the actual form. Easier to follow. Let's say we purchase some Apple stock, so they gave us some dividends. Let's say we received $200 dividend. It's qualified dividends. And I'm gonna leave the rest blank. Save and close. Okay. Now continue. So 1099B. Before we begin, tell us a little more about your stock sale. No, do not include any employee stock. How many sales did you have? Let's say we had 5 or more. So for your 1099B, which is your capital transactions, there's different categories. There's short-term category A, B, C. Um, category A, which is I think it's cost basis, not reported to the IRS, and category B is cost basis reported to the IRS, and then category C, I think it's 1099 form not received, and same thing for the long term. So let's say we receive category B, and then it's asking us to enter the total proceeds and total cost basis. So you don't have to enter it line by line, which is very good. Let's say we made some sale. Okay, and continue. Now let's enter some long-term capital. Let's pretend we had losses. Oh, sorry. Okay. So now we have a net capital loss of 2,000. So it's asking you that to provide your copy of your 1099B because they do need to see the detail. So before you submit your return, you have to upload a PDF version of it. Because when we enter it by the total proceed and total cost basis amount. Um, okay, now for self-employed. So these are 1099. You probably most likely gonna get one for NEC. Um, it used to be miscellaneous, but now they send your um, contractor of your or your side hustle. You're gonna get 1099 NEC. and then these would get reported on Schedule C. And to really lower your expenses or lower your taxes, you want to make sure you report your related expenses to your business. I'll enter something for my business. And for your business, you might or might not have a EIN. If you don't, then it will just report it through your social security number, basically. We can leave it as blank. Okay. I'll just pick something. Do actually. Okay. You want to know what type of business you're doing, um, and you might or might not receive 1099s. You might just have income from your customers. So make sure you're doing a good job of bookkeeping. Let's say we made 20,000 from our side hustle. And then it should ask for our expenses next, I believe. Okay, so now we enter all the income information we have. It says started this year on the business. And if you want to make the election to capitalize your repair and maintenances, make sure you check the box. I mean, if you're over a certain threshold, you can capitalize it and then depreciate it instead of taking all the expenses in the current year. I'm going to select no, I did not make any 1099 payments. Okay, now we're going to enter expenses. So most of the time you're going to have insurance, utilities, repair and maintenance, and then some basic office expenses. So let's just select a few of them. And definitely make sure you're keeping the receipts and documentation for your business related expenses. And it's definitely best practice to open a business account. That way when you get audited, you have all your information there. They don't have to dig through your personal accounts. Let's just continue right here. Alright, I think we're almost halfway done. Okay, now we have our Schedule C entered. Next, now we have our rental property information that we need to enter. I'm gonna say it's a single family. residence. I'm gonna skip this. It's gonna ask whether you're a qualified trail business. Most likely you're not gonna qualify for it if you're just um, renting out your rental property. There are certain requirements you have to meet um, for you to qualify for this. It's gonna ask for the number of days you use for your personal use and the number of days you rent it out. Because if you didn't rent it out enough, you're not gonna be able to deduct it. And then if it actually tells you that if you um, rent it fewer than 15 days, you do not need to report your rental income or the rental expenses. It's asking for some prior carryover information that you might or might not have. It's kind of similar like capital losses, like certain losses you can carry over. Now let's enter our rental income. Okay, let's just say we rented out for 20K. Now we need to enter our expenses. Okay, so here are some basic expenses we can enter: travel, advertising, commission. If you have managing company helping you, you can enter managing fees. I'll just enter something here, something there. Okay. And then most likely you would have taxes related to your property. And then most likely you're gonna have mortgage interest as well. And then you should receive a form 1099 that's gonna show you your mortgage interest, and then sometimes it also shows your property taxes there as well. So make sure you match it to the form. Okay. Any depreciation? So typically you will need to depreciate your building, and then if you have large furnitures or improvements, you would depreciate those as well. I'm gonna skip it for this purposes. Continue. I'm just selecting no for most of these because most won't apply to many of you. Okay, now we have our rental property information entered. As I continue, did you make any estimated tax payments? So if you only have a W-2, most likely you won't need to make estimated tax payments because you already have your federal income tax withheld. Um, but if you have additional side hustles, so those incomes you don't have tax withheld on them, and so they require you to make estimated tax payments. That way you won't have interest and penalties, or you won't have a huge amount due at when you're filing the return. Let's say we did make some estimated tax payments. And then sometimes um, you don't have to receive your cash refund. You can apply to your next year's return, and this is where you enter it. Let's say we make some small payments each quarter. Okay. I'll skip state, but the same idea. If you have side hustle or individual self-employed income, you want to be making estimated tax payments throughout the year, so that way you don't owe a huge amount at the end, and you won't have interest and penalty as well. So now we have entered the income information and then the related expenses. Now it's time for deductions. I'll skip HSA. So let's enter our IRA contributions. So uh, let's say we qualify for traditional. So you do have a limit each year, and if you have a 401k, you might still qualify for IRA. It's gonna depend on your AGI. So let's say we make the max. Okay. Now it's time for your itemized deductions. So if you receive a 1095-A, this is where you enter it. You had prescriptions, medical expenses that are not covered by insurance, you can also report it here. Your medical related travel fees are also deductible. So so it shows 0 because our AGI is too high. So your medical expense have to be at over 7.5% of your total AGI, which is your adjusted gross income, for you to be able to deduct it. So the amount I enter and the AGI we have entered is too high, so there's not showing any deduction here. So now we have charitable donations. Um, Let's say we made some cash contribution. If you had non-cash contribution, like if you donated stuff to Goodwill, you can record those at fair market value. But definitely make sure you document it. You should get receipts from Goodwill or written statements from different nonprofit organizations. Okay, so you're saying our amount that we enter is less. So actually I want to go back. So I think we might have missed property tax and mortgage interest. Yeah, let's say we have additional stuff to report. Yeah, let's say we want to report, let's see, where is, yeah, I'm not seeing 1098 input fields. I might have missed it earlier, or maybe it's coming later. Because the deductions are going to your Schedule A, and you have your total itemized deduction has to be more than your standard deduction for you to deduct it on Schedule A. Does not seem like it gave us an option to enter um, your mortgage interest and property taxes. I wonder if it's because when I was filling out the basic information, um, I did not select it. Or maybe it's gonna come later. I guess we just continue then. Because usually the property tax and mortgage interest, that's what's really gonna put your itemized expense or itemized deductions over the standard deduction amount. Okay, now let's jump into credits. Okay, I'm missing some basic information. Okay, I think we're pretty much done. At least for the federal. It's taking a minute to save. It's taking a really long time to save. I'm gonna go back to basic information real quick. See if it lets me. Cause I didn't see where to enter the 1098 information. It's kind of weird that they didn't ask me about that. Okay, it's not letting me click away. Um, yeah, it's never taken this long. Let me try to refresh it. Okay, here we go. See if I can go back to basic information. Feel like I'm probably missed one of these boxes, and that's why I skip real estate. No. So that's about rental income, which is different. Okay, here we go. Yeah. So if I check these boxes, it should show up. So now let's go back to deductions, see if it shows up. So here you can kind of review what we have entered so far and how much is applying to us. And you can see that our standard deduction is more than the itemized amount. So let's go back to and review the itemized deduction. Okay, here we go. Let's enter our real estate taxes. Let's say we paid $8,000. And then let's say we pay some mortgage interest as well. Yeah, so it's telling you do not enter your mortgage interest that's for rental or your business. So this is for your personal mortgage. Okay, let's just enter some information here. I'm gonna skip most of these. I'm gonna say they don't apply to us. Okay, no. Continue. Okay, continue. Okay, now let's see. Okay, see now it says our deduction, itemized deduction is 20,000. It's not showing that standard deduction amount anymore because we're more than that. Okay. So yeah, I think we enter all the information that you typically would see for your tax return. And here's our total federal refund. And then it's going to show you a nice breakdown. And then next we can do the state. Yeah, take a look at the state together. But it should take your federal information and then fill out most of your state return. And if you lived in different if you live in different state throughout the year, you might need to file part year resident state. But for this demo, I'm gonna say I'm a full year resident. So New York's very specific. They do have one of the most complex state tax. I'm gonna say I did not live in NYC. Yeah, it's a lot of basic information about whether you're staying at certain location. And there are certain state deductions like tuition you might be able to deduct for your state return. I'm gonna say no, no adjustment, no state credit. Yeah, you can kind of go through these, but most likely these items don't apply to most people. Did you make any state estimated tax payments? I'm gonna say no. And I think this is pretty much it. I think we're finished. Now we just need to enter for bank information, which I'm not gonna do here. So that's it for this video. I know it's a long video, but hopefully it's helpful for you kind of see it through and how this software works, and you can kind of compare to TurboTax. For me, I think it's fairly easy, and TurboTax is pretty easy to use as well. They try to make it easy as possible, uh, but this software is cheaper. Um, so that's why I use this personally for my own tax return. Um, so yeah, that's it for this video. If you find it helpful, please subscribe to the channel and then like the video. See you next time. Thank you.